What's up, Internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video, and you'll never miss a stream. Today is Wednesday, August 3rd. It's day 29 inside the Big Brother house. And yesterday on the feeds, it was a little chill, but it was basically campaign day, right? Everybody was kind of going around, you know, talking to everyone to try to make sure they had the votes going forward for Thursday's live eviction, which, once again, if you're new here and you haven't been part of our Thursday watch-alongs, we will be live right here on the channel on Thursday watching that live eviction, so make sure you're here for that. Nicole and Daniel, they pretty much have nailed that there's something going on. They realize now that there's some other alliance, but they don't quite have it figured out. They think that they have Michael and they think they have Kyle. So at the end of the day, Nicole still feels like she's okay. She's not going to go home and that Taylor's going to be leaving. So she's kind of like making plans for, you know, if I stay, who's the best pair to go with? I could go with Michael and Brittany. I could go with Indy and Alyssa. You know, if I go with Indy and Alyssa, that's 3 of us, though, that are on the block, so we don't control the numbers anymore. It's like, honey, you don't control the numbers right now. In fact, here, we'll pull up our alliance chart. And it's funny because she was actually calling the leftovers minus Kyle because she doesn't realize Kyle is anywhere close to being on the other side of the house. She's pretty confident that he was supposed to be the backup plan for this week. If Daniel and Kyle didn't win veto, that they would have been going up on the block. And she's like, well, Alyssa, right? Like you're kissing, and everybody knows. By the way, everybody knows that Kyle and Alyssa have been kissing. And it's kind of not a big deal, but it kind of is a big deal because it could eventually actually lead to Kyle making decisions against the leftovers and maybe going to the other side of the house that benefit him and Alyssa's game more than it benefits the leftovers game. But again, Daniel and Nicole, they were campaigning all day. They think they have the votes, but they really don't. Taylor actually made a pretty good campaign pitch, even though she doesn't need it, to Alyssa, pretty much saying, like, yeah, like, you know, I'm going to be going after the guys, except for Kyle. I'm not going to touch Kyle, don't worry. But yeah, I'm going to go after the guys, Monte, Joseph, right? Like, they'll be the ones who would go up. And if I stay, I'm going to pick you and Indy. Why? Because, hey, I'm a good competitor, you're a good competitor. If we win HOH, you know, we're safe. We have more chance of winning. But also, we get the jury, right? Even the worst case scenario, we go on the block. Like, you guys aren't going to be the target, I will. So you guys will definitely make it the jury. It was actually a pretty good campaign speech for Alyssa and Indy to kind of, you know, be like, hey, you know what, maybe we should consider this. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Oh, there is other big news to talk about. The scooter is gone. So Jasmine was, she's been trying to get be walking by Big Brother. Like, they've been pushing her. Like, they gave her a cane at one point. They tried to get her to use it just more and more every day, but she's been staying very how should I say this, horizontal throughout most of the past few weeks since she's hurt her ankle. But they did take away the crutches and they took away the scooter, and they have her in kind of a walking boot, like hard removable cast. So that should be what she is getting around in the house more with. But I don't know if that's going to make her more mobile or less mobile. I feel like taking the scooter away is going to make her stay a little bit more horizontal throughout the week. Another interesting thing was Daniel was telling Michael that, and he was telling, he's been having this conversation a lot, but he had this conversation with Michael in the kitchen. Yeah. Well, actually, he had this conversation with Michael, and then he had the conversation with Turner in the kitchen. But he has this idea that he's going around with his campaign saying that he's like, listen, one of the reasons why you should keep Nicole over Taylor is that Nicole, if she makes a jury, she's going to vote how who played the game the best. She's going to go with who's the best game player. She's not going to make any kind of decision other than that. Taylor's going to be emotional. She might say like, oh, well, this person sided with Daniel and this person did that and this person did this. And that's how she'll vote. What actually gives him the idea that that's how she would vote? That's my curiosity here. Because it seems to me like they have these ideas about who Taylor is, but none of them line up with who Taylor is as a person. It's a little weird. Oh, and you know what? That reminds me too. So Nicole, here's the thing I've noticed about Nicole. She doesn't lie about the things she's supposed to lie about, and then she lies about things that don't matter. And then at the entire time, she'll say she has integrity. An example of this, she was having her campaign with Brittany, who she hates, by the way. Like, she really doesn't like Brittany. She thinks Michael's her little puppy dog, who thinks that Michael thinks she needs him, right? Like Michael's the mentor to Nicole, so she thinks she's stringing Michael along, thinking like, yeah, like I need you, Michael, give me advice, you're the best. Meanwhile, Michael's like, he's just playing her the whole time. So Michael and Brittany were both there, and this is dumbest thing I think I've ever heard somebody say in Big Brother when they're on the block and they need somebody to vote for them. She said, listen, if the finals were tomorrow, I would vote for Michael over you. I swear, you like, this is the dumbest things she'll say. The dumbest things. And also, it blows my mind that she, right, so the reason she thinks she's staying is she thinks she has the votes, and she thinks she has Michael, and she thinks she has Kyle, and she thinks that Brittany's on the other side and won't vote for her. Does she not realize that Michael and Brittany are so close? Like, it blows my mind that she's this blind to the stuff that's right in front of her face, and it's going to be so sweet to see her go on Thursday, because there's no chance she's staying at this point. None. Terrance, as well, he pretty much has a good idea that Nicole's going. They haven't filled him in yet, and that was actually kind of something that the leftovers are discussing as we speak. As I'm recording this, they're in the bathroom talking about, like, yeah, when do you think's a good time to tell him? Monte said he's going to fill in Terrance probably tomorrow night, maybe afternoon. And they're like, look, if it gets to Daniel at that point, who cares, right? Like, it is what it is. Because they do know that they're kind of close, but they don't know exactly where Terrance stands, even though he's playing very in the middle. He's playing in the middle, but he definitely does not trust Nicole and Daniel. He's been lying to that side of the house for a while now. So it's going to be interesting to see where exactly the votes lie. Nicole has this weird idea that it could be 5-5, which even I'm trying to think of where she would think that's what the votes are. So Monte can't vote, right? Taylor can't vote. So it will be Turner, Joseph, Michael, and Brittany, and Kyle, right? They're all voting Nicole out of the house. Terrance is probably voting Nicole out of the house, so that's 6. Meanwhile, on the other side, you only have 4 people voting. So does she somehow assume that it's going to be 5-5 and then Monte's going to break the tie? Like, if he breaks the tie, like, she now believes that Monte and Taylor are working together. Because it's all spiraled. This all really spiraled. And Nicole was going to be safe. But as soon as Monte suggested to them, hey, maybe you shouldn't use the veto, they started thinking, oh, well, Monte's working with Taylor. This is all a setup. We're going to get them instead, and we're going to use the veto, and you guys are going to go up, and we're going to send Taylor home. But it's like, I don't understand their logic of how they don't see. None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense from their standpoint. It's like they get close, but they're so blinded. it's kind of amazing. Other than that, though, that pretty much is what happened, right? It was just a day of Nicole and Daniel kind of running around, being ever so close to kind of figuring it out and putting all the pieces together, but they still are so blind to the idea that Kyle could be anywhere but with Alyssa and her lips. Which, let's talk about that a little bit. As of right now, it's not a problem. I'm pretty sure Kyle is still 100% on board leftovers. But when it really comes down to it, will he continue to be with the leftovers? Or will he eventually make a move and say, hey, you know what? I think it's better for my game if I keep Alyssa around and we work together. And who knows, maybe he can pull like Brittany and Michael into there and they're going against guys like Monte, Joseph, Turner, and even Taylor. Maybe Taylor joins up with their side too. It's going to be really fascinating once we get to the point where it's the leftover civil war. That's why, as much as I'm excited and enjoying this season with the steamroll, it's usually not something we enjoy, right? Steamrolls are boring. But this steamroll in particular has a lot of layers to it, and it's really not clear how things are going to turn out once we get to the end. Especially because this isn't a week one alliance. This is an alliance that's only really 2 weeks old. So we're really only getting the dynamics and how the different members are going to play with each other and how they're going to use the outside members to their advantage. Brittany and Michael were actually bringing up the idea of like trying to pull Jasmine into the fold, even though Jasmine also hates Brittany. Hates Brittany so much. But they were like, yeah, I mean, it would be a good idea to get her and drag her along because she's going to be bad at the physical comps with her leg. So it just kind of makes sense. Like you take that, right? Somebody who's got a disadvantage in the game, especially for the competitions, which once you get to about final 7, right? Even final 8 and like right around then is when you're getting to like a double eviction scenario. Competitions matter a lot. These early weeks, competitions don't matter that much, right? Michael won a lot of competitions early that didn't really matter that much to everybody, except probably him because he needed to win most of them, except for that one. He didn't need to win that one, and then he won it anyway. And it's like, man, you should have just thrown that one. But there's a certain point where the game flips and the competitions become much, much more important. So they kind of realize at this point, it's not going to be good for their game to be going against guys like Monte and Joseph and even Kyle. It's just not going to be good for them. So they'd rather have somebody like Jasmine who they feel they could easily beat. So it's really going to be fascinating to see how this all turns out. Anyway, guys, that pretty much wraps up the video. What do you guys think about everything that's going on in the house? We do have a episode tonight, Wednesday. It will be the veto episode. So we'll see kind of how all that played out. We'll see the competition, which, if I remember correctly, was some kind of communication-based thing. The way it was described, it reminded me a little bit of the competition from, I believe it was BB10, where it was a have-not competition, like for food. And they had to describe like socks and pieces of clothing to people on the other side of a wall. This one sounds like they were watching some kind of video and they had to describe that to their partner who couldn't see the video. So it should be an interesting one to watch play out tonight. Again, we'll also see the veto ceremony take place, and then Thursday night will be the live eviction. Once again, we'll be live here on the channel for that as well. But once again, thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Hit that subscribe button if you are new, and that notification bell so you never miss a video and you never miss a stream. I've been Ori, and I will see you next time.